Hey guys, let's start with the animation class for the moment. In animation class, what we're going to do is, first of all, we need to get to diamap to see where the tasks are. So some of you have already seen it, but I'm just going to show you based on what we need to do. So if you're accessing diamap from outside school, this is the best chance you've got. So you go onto Craig Moore High School website. In the website, you've got a link to go to diamap. Now, if you are on site, that link state goes to your diamap. But if you're off site, that link will give you this dialog box that says, give me your username and password. So it's the same username and password that you have used for logging to the computers at school. Right? So your name, a dot in the middle, and a number at the end. That's what it should look like. Your password is the same as whatever you've set before school stopped. School went on holidays. So signing in, your diamap would look a bit different from what mine looks like. So I'm going to go into one thing that you can see on your diamap. If you click on the class, which is digital media or film production, which is right here, film production, you'll have an option to see the outline. So in outline, I have mentioned what you need to do. If you are someone who is doing film, it's up here. Just after film, you've got animation, it's down here. So it says, what do we need to do in terms of first 5 weeks? In the first week and the second week, I have allocated that for a design brief for people who are working at home and don't have access to either Blender or Maya. Right? For people who have access to Blender or Maya, you can choose how you want to do it, but I would suggest stick to this timeline if you're at home. First 2 weeks about design brief. Design brief is where you talk about the solution to the problem. Now, you might ask, what is the problem? So, Remigio, what is the problem that we are facing here? Have you got a problem? Sorry? Coronavirus is one of the bigger problems we've got. Even before coronavirus, in terms of this subject, in terms of animation, we had a problem or a task at hand. The problem is that we don't know how to do animation yet. We don't know how to do modeling yet. And the task is to create 3D models at the moment. That's all the tasks are. If you're talking about design brief, it's taking you from the planning stage all the way to the end of this task where is you have created a film. Right? So starting from planning, you did your initial planning, which included your script, your bio, and your picture story. Everyone's done that? Yeah. Then the second stage is creating models of the environment. Now, this is what I'm going to discuss now, and this is what I'm going to show how you go about it. We've got different people working on different scenes. So I've got someone who's working in on a bedroom because their scene is starting in a bedroom, going to the stairs. We've got someone whose scene is in between a city, which is like a small oval or a park. A couple of people are sitting on the park, and that's where the story starts or story finishes. So everyone has their own different environment, and irrespective of what you're doing, environment is going to stay the same. The word environment is going to stay the same. So let's say I am going to work with someone who is working on an office scene. So in an office scene, we know what an office looks like. We've got it in our head. But when we actually start writing it down, it's a bit all over the place. So what I'm going to do is open a Word document and also open a Google web page where I'm going to just go add another tab. I'm going to type office environment and go look into the images. It might work straight away, it might not. So in this case it worked. it's given us a bigger office because the word environment meant a whole big office, not a small cubicle. So that's still good for us. If you want to work with one of these offices, that's great. Usually the idea is to get a list of stuff that you need to create, list of things you need to create. These things, we're going to refer them as assets. So let's look at that office and open that website if it opens. At home it'll open. At work it might, oh yeah, here. So I wouldn't worry about that ad. I'll just worry about what's on the photo of the office. So you've got the office here. I would start noting down what things I might need for my office. Alright, so going back to the image, probably zoom in a bit. Alright, so I will call this document asset list. Asset list means I'm going to start writing the assets that I need to create for my scene. And it doesn't mean that you have to pick everything. You can choose, pick and choose what you want. In an office, I know I certainly need some desks. Desk or desks, depending on how many you want. Probably write how many do you need. Doesn't really matter. You can you can just make one and replicate it. So it doesn't matter how many you write. Just write it how many you're going to have in your scene. Yeah. Then I can see that we've got some chairs there. Three desks, 3 chairs. Then I'm going to probably write computer. Alright. Apart from doing this list, I'll continue with this list. That's what you're going to do. Continue with the list and list down all the things that you think might be needed for the office. You might also say a vase on the table. Yeah, that's up to you. All of that is just a reference, and because it's a reference, I will copy that image and put it down here. If you want to, you should add the URL to it. You can do it different ways. You can add a caption. I like that caption method because it just gives us somewhere to write it. So that's your website, and leave it there. So figure 1 has come from this website down. So what I want you to do is make that document at least before you start modeling your environments. Yeah, make sense? Close down it. If you haven't done it yet, but make that list so you've got a target to achieve. Right? Thank you. And in the next video, we'll probably talk about if you're working from home and if you want to work from Blender, which is another software like Maya. I would suggest look at downloading it and having it ready to work on. Thanks guys, that's good. You can get back to work.